Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the Sunday service of Fellowship of Spirit in Farmington, New Mexico. This is January 17th, and we hope that you are well and safe and everything is going good in your life. We are a fellowship rather than a church. We don't ascribe to any particular political system or religious system or anything that might divide people. We are about unity and love, and so we welcome all people, no matter who you are. We love you just the way that you are, and so we have some people who this is their first time, maybe some people who haven't been here for a long time and have never joined us on Zoom. One of them is Travis. So Travis, welcome, and we'll give you a chance to speak a little bit later. So in the meantime, Susan Barnes has volunteered to give us our initial prayer.
Creator, Mother, Father, God, we give thanks for this day, for all the blessings that we have received. We give thanks for the unity of this fellowship, for the brotherhood of all. We give thanks for our health and well-being, for the great prosperity, not necessarily of material things, but our prosperity of the love that we share with one another. We give thanks for this wonderful service that we are going to have and the wonderful words that Mark will be sharing with us. And for all of these things, we truly give thanks. Oh.
That's it too low. Thank you, Susan. Jerry, do we have any announcements we need to talk about the first of our service? No.
Did you want to advise everybody of our board elections?
Oh, that's right. Well, I guess we could do that now, or we could do it later.
I don't care. It's your choice. I just don't want you to forget.
We did have a board. Well, I'd rather do that at the end because we're going to need to vote. Okay, so I'm going to make that announcement when we make announcements at the end.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody else have something that they need to say that we just can't wait for? Okay, Fred, sing us a beautiful song.
I shall try. Everybody that comes here have been in the fellowship for a while and know this song. It's Somos el Barco, which means we are the boat in Spanish. Of course, I was taught this song, didn't know it until Hoyle taught me how to play it. It's written by a man named Lore Wyatt in 1984, and I don't know who Lore Wyatt is. So if you're interested in looking up Lore Wyatt, please do, and you'll find out a little bit more about me. So I'm going to do it kind of my way. the stream, sings it to the river sings it to the sea sings it to the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the boat, we are the sea, we are the sea. Sailing you sail in me. La 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 the boat we are sailing in was built by many hands, and the sea we are sailing on, it touches every land. Somos el barco, somos el mar, tú navegas en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, oh, you sail in me. La 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 la. We are the sea, tú navegas en mí, I sail in you, and you sail in me.
Thank you, Fred. I asked for a beautiful song and you complied. Thank you very, very much. It was absolutely wonderful. And we appreciate your music. It
My
shows
pleasure.
beauty through sound, and that's what you've done.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Susan, would you introduce Travis for us, please?
And could she also introduce her new little girl?
Well, actually, this is not Kenya. This is Briani, and she's going to be one of the dancers when we do the dancing. And her parents come and help us out here on the farm. So she's just part of all the kids that we kind of play grandparents to. And now for Travis. I've known Travis for 30 years, and he has been so incredible. We met him at the Religious Science Church in Durango, Colorado, and then he just became so enamored of New Thought, and he really got into it, and he was a missionary over in Russia for a number of years. And he does just such good work. He comes from such a loving space. He lives out in Long Beach, California right now. And I don't know, what else can I say about you, Travis, except that you've been such a wonderful, loving part of our lives for so many years.
Welcome, Travis. If you'll unmute, we'd like to hear a few words from you.
Oh, yes. Well, it's great to see all of you, and particularly my old friend Susan. Actually, 35 years ago, I began learning to meditate at the home of Susan and Randy when they had Wednesday night. A couple times a month, they had Wednesday night meditations. And so I was pleased that they gave me that meditation ball to take down the field. And now I often reflect upon them as I urge other people to meditate so they may know these principles in a deep way rather than know them only superficially as theory, hearsay, and and such. So yeah, I'm very excited about move helping everybody to take what they know and embrace it and move it down the field when I have an opportunity, especially coming up on February 14th.
Thank you. Thank you. We're welcome, and we're glad that you're here. Randy, Travis is going to be our speaker on, is it February 14th? February 14th.
Valentine's Day.
Really close to Valentine's Day, so he'll be our speaker. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, today we have the pleasure of having a return speaker who spoke to us many times and moved away from us, and we thought that he was gone from our lives and we would never see him again. But now this is about the third time he spoke in the last 6 months, and it's just a demonstration of that distance is not what things that separate us, and that he is back with us, and he always has a good message, and we love him. And I don't have in my hand his bio, but I know that he is an ordained minister. I don't remember what the situation was, but I do know that. And he is a very experienced and a very energetic and intelligent speaker. So we want to welcome everyone. Mark Wolf. Go for it, Mark. You're muted.
Am I not muted now?
You're good. You're good.
All right, awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you again this morning. I'm not always able to be with you on Sunday morning because this laptop computer that we're using does not belong to me. It belongs to my son, and we thank him for letting us borrow it. And thank you as well, Ron, and all of you for continuing to let me be your speaker. I've been your Sunday morning speaker. I was thinking about this for more than 25 years, off and on. And that's a long time. And I thank you for the trust that you continue to place in me to do this. This is a sweet thing. And even though we're not always able to be together, I wanted to tell you to take this opportunity to let you know that I think of you often and I pray for you. Anyway, I think that the year of 2020 left all of us just a little ragged before that was over with. And so I hope that you all had an opportunity to relax and enjoy the end of the year and the holidays. I enjoyed Christmas up here in Kentucky with my son and daughter and their mom. And I enjoyed, as many of you who follow me on Facebook know that I enjoyed baking for them. And I enjoyed watching them set up the Christmas tree. It was a real fun thing. And it was so funny when both of the cats promptly jumped into the empty Christmas tree box. How could we laugh without cats? My daughter was very clear about what she wanted for Christmas. My daughter's 13, and her sense of herself, as well as her sense of her spiritual path, are still growing and evolving. For example, last spring, she was into Islam. And it's really very cute, really very sweet. She has a classmate who's Islamic, and her classmate was complaining about having trouble keeping the fast of Ramadan. And so my daughter said, yeah, don't worry, I'll help you. I'll keep the fast of Ramadan with you, and I'll learn about Islam. So that's what they did together. But now her attention has turned toward the philosophers of the ancient Greeks. And so for Christmas, she asked for a small statue of the goddesses Hera and Artemis to go in her indoor garden. So I got Hera and her mom got Artemis. Now, I believe that I have a spiritual path that will take her much further than the Greek philosophers of ancient times. But there's no use picking up a net to chase a sparrow. It makes more sense to me to throw out some breadcrumbs and wait for the sparrow to come to me when it's ready. My son is 17, and he defines himself very clearly, very specifically, as a follower of Jesus Christ. And that's sweet. He's been making a genuine effort to read and study the New Testament. I was very impressed when he told me that, because my son, very unlike me, is not a reader nor a lover of books. I've told the story many times. I was 6 years old and I read Go Dog Go. Remember from Dr. Seuss? I read that myself for the first time, and there was no turning back. And I read cereal boxes and labels and road signs and billboards, anything I could find. But my son does not enjoy reading. And so I was not surprised when he admitted to having trouble and he was struggling with the New Testament. So I said, well, what translation are you using? What version? And when he said it was a King James version, I thought, oh my goodness, no wonder he's struggling with it. Now, I'm very comfortable with the King James Version because I grew up with it, and we're going to use it this morning. But if you did not grow up with it, it's very easy to get bogged down in the Shakespearean language and get frustrated and say, oh my goodness, the Bible is just too hard to read. Oh my. So what I did was I did some shopping, and I found a very nice leather-bound New American Standard Bible, and I bought it for him. And on the inside cover, I wrote down 4 gifts for my son. And it is these 4 gifts that I want to share with you this morning. And we're going to look at each one of the 4 gifts very briefly. They're very simple. The first gift, unlimited blessing. Okay. The second gift, unlimited prosperity. The third gift, unlimited spiritual guidance. The fourth gift, unlimited fulfillment. All right. Unlimited blessing, prosperity, spiritual guidance, and fulfillment. And I think that that's pretty exciting. Now, I'm going to give you a number of Bible references so that you can look at them on your own and continue to think about the 4 gifts. So let's get started. The first gift is the gift of unlimited blessing. And to describe this first gift, we have to look at in the book of Psalms, right in the very center of the Bible. And we're going to look at Psalm 18. All right. Psalm 18, starting in verse 25. And these are the words that King David spoke to God. And he said, with the merciful, thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man, thou wilt show thyself upright. With the pure, thou wilt show thyself pure. And with the stubborn, thou wilt show thyself stubborn. For thou wilt light my candle, the Lord my God will bring light to my darkness. Now, with these words, we are literally given the power. We are literally given the authority to shape the way God interacts with us. See, it's simple. It's a simple formula. If we want the light of God to be merciful to us, we have to be merciful to others. If we want the light to be kind and loving to us, we have to be kind and loving to others. That's the formula. You see, we cannot be stingy and judgmental toward others and still expect God to be generous and forgiving toward us, because it doesn't work that way. What I do to the people around me actually tells God, instructs God how to interact with me. This is one of the most amazing gifts that we have been given, an amazing, astonishing thing that the philosophers of ancient Greece could not imagine. Now, I believe that it is not just with the people around us. I believe it extends to the entire web of life around us, even to the planet herself. You know, I remember one day last summer, my daughter came pounding down the stairs. She's frantic. She's out of it. She says, Dad, come quick. There's a bug in my room. It's a big bug. It's in the window. Come get the bug. And I said, okay, let's go get the bug. And so the first thing I did is I reached in the kitchen cabinet and I got a small glass jar and a saucer. And my daughter said, what's that for? And I said, well, we're going to catch the bug and take it outside. And she said, no, you don't need to catch it. Just kill it. Just kill it. And I said, no, if the bug is in the window and trying to get outside, and we want the bug to be outside, then we all want the same thing. So let's help it. We don't need to hurt something just because we can. We don't need to kill something simply because it's convenient. Because when we choose to help something that's small and helpless in front of us, then God will be merciful and help us when we feel small and helpless in the situations of life. Okay? Why? Because with the merciful, thou wilt show thyself merciful. Now, what did the rabbi from Nazareth say based on this teaching in Psalm 18? We turn to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 7. The rabbi said, blessed are the merciful, because they shall obtain mercy. See, likewise, you flip it around. We cannot hold a grudge against someone and be angry towards someone in the past and yet expect the fullness of God's blessings in the present. It doesn't work that way. The blessings and the anger cannot coexist. As many of you know, if you follow me on Facebook, you know that I lived in Charleston, South Carolina for several months. And Charleston is such a beautiful city, and they still use the gas lamps. They still use the gas lamps that were built in the early 19th century. And these gas lamps are beautiful. They're very ornate. It's like an iron box with windows. They're very ornate. And many of the lamps have big spikes sticking off the top to keep the birds from roosting on them. And our anger, our resentment, that's like the spikes sticking off the top of the gas lamps, because it keeps the blessing from coming to roost in our lives. The rabbi said, look, if y'all don't judge, y'all will not be judged. All right? Because the measuring rod that y'all use on each other is the measuring rod that will be used on you. That's not King James. But this places an extraordinary power in our hands. It is a gift of extraordinary authority. It is the power to determine how the light of God will be revealed in our lives. If we want mercy, be merciful. If we want blessing, then get busy and be a blessing. If we want prosperity, then be generous. See how simple? See how simple? That's the first gift, the gift of unlimited blessing. Speaking of prosperity, the second gift is the gift of unlimited prosperity. Now, to understand this gift and how to receive the gift, we turn to Genesis chapter 28 and verse 22. It's very simple. It's very simple. And Jacob gives us the formula. Genesis 28, Jacob says to God, of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the 10th unto thee. That's the formula. See, it's very simple. Of all that we receive, we give a 10th back to God. Now, the question needs to arise. What does God need with it? Okay, what does God need with it? Very simple answer to a good question. God does not need it. But the place where we receive our spiritual nourishment does need it. Because the place where we receive our spiritual nourishment has bills to pay. All right, rent and lights and heat and water and insurance and salaries. And if we're receiving spiritual nourishment, then we need to give something back in return to balance the energy. Okay. Second, Second, we need a place to give our 10% to. Now, somebody asked, well, if money is the root of all evil, then what do the churches need with it? And why do they keep asking for it? Okay, good question. They are referring to the most often misquoted verse in the entire Bible, 1 Timothy 6:10. All right, 1 Timothy 6:10 says, the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money. And to make it still clearer, it could say that to receive or to get selfishly, to receive for myself alone, is the root of all evil, and it is. So the question should also arise, why a tenth? All right, why not just $1? Why not just whatever you want, whenever you feel like it? Why a tenth? What's the big deal about a tenth? Okay, now of course you can give whatever you want to. You give $1, whatever you want to, of course you can, but that's not the formula. All right, that's not the formula for the unlimited prosperity. The formula that Jacob gave us is a tenth. Now you feel free to give anything above that if possible, but the formula is very clear. It is a tenth. The reason for a tenth takes us into the mystical teachings of the Jews, into the Kabbalah, but the basic idea is very simple. All right, in the Kabbalah, we learn there are 10 dimensions. All right, 10 dimensions. 4 of them are very obvious to us. 6 of them are hidden. All right, sounds a lot like string theory. Okay, 10 dimensions, 4 are obvious, 6 are hidden. But chaos and darkness only exist in one of them. And guess which one that is? I'll give you a hint. It's the one we're in. You didn't know that, right? The chaos and the darkness also attach to our money. So in order to remove the chaos, in order to remove the darkness from our money, we remove 1/10 of the money. When we remove 1/10 of the money and give it for the purpose of sharing light, we give it for the purpose of healing, we remove the chaos and the darkness from our finances so that the blessings can come and rest on us. That's the formula. It's very simple, okay? It's very simple. So at this point, we've looked briefly at 2 very simple formulas, all right? But 2 very amazing formulas. Now, what are they? First, the formula for unlimited blessing, Psalm 18. Treat others in the way that you want God to treat you. It's not complicated. Second, the formula for unlimited prosperity, Genesis 28. Give 1/10 of your income to the place where you receive your spiritual nourishment. Again, it's not complicated. Now, the third formula is the formula for unlimited spiritual guidance. And this one sounds a little weird. It is not immediately obvious, but once you see it, it is indeed very simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at Genesis chapter 32. All right, Genesis 32, verse 26. And in this story, we go back to Jacob, and Jacob has wrestled with a dark angel all night. But listen to what happens at daybreak. Genesis 32, 26. And the angel said, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." And Jacob said, "I will not let thee go, except thou bless me." Okay. Jacob wrestles with a dark angel all night. And then the angel says, "Whoa, gotta go. Sun's coming up." And Jacob said, "Oh, no. No. You're not going anywhere till you bless me." And so Jacob is given a new name. The angel renames him Israel, Yisrael. This means a change of consciousness. A change of name means a change of consciousness. The name Israel, Yisrael, comes from two interesting Hebrew words, Yashar El. Yashar El, you combine it, it becomes Yisrael, means he who wrestles with God. He who wrestles with God. Now, how can wrestling with God bring unlimited spiritual guidance? That makes no sense. Aren't we supposed to be obedient? Aren't we supposed to accept the will of God? Look, here's the thing. The will of God is that we would be blessed, that we would love one another and share our blessings with one another. That's the will of God. But there is another aspect to the will of God. Another aspect of the will of God is that we must demand answers. We must ask questions and we must demand answers. All right? We must demand answers from the light. See, it's not enough to sit back passively and say, well, you know, it's the will of God. Well, there's nothing we can do. It's just the will of God. And we're helpless. No, we have to stand up and ask why. Now, not like a victim, say, oh, why is this happening to me? No. So why is this happening? Why is this happening? What am I supposed to learn from this? Whatever is happening, what am I supposed to learn from this? What is the lesson here? What do I need to change in order to move forward? In this situation, whatever it is, in this situation, where is the light that I can share? In this situation, how can I share love? And whatever's going on, we always ask, okay, what's my next step? What is my next step from this? My dad used to tell me, he would say, son, if you're not moving forward in life, then you're moving backward. There's no standing still. He was right. There's no standing still. He was right about a lot of things. But this is especially true in our spiritual path. We're either moving forward or we're moving backward. There's no standing still in our spiritual path. And when we think, well, you know, I've learned all I need to learn. I've grown all I'm going to grow. I've shared all I plan to share. I'm going to take a rest. I said, oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to take a break. You're wrong. There's no sitting down and taking a break on the spiritual path. We must always ask, what's next? What else can I share? What else can I give? How can I give something in a new way? How can I share something I've never shared before? How can I give something in a way I've never given before? Where is a light that I've never seen before, and how can I share it and help others with it? What's next for me? What's next? What's next? Because we are always moving forward. And if we're always moving forward, then we're always going to receive unlimited spiritual guidance. And if the answer, you say, well, what's next? The answer is not always obvious. Okay? When the answer is not obvious, we wrestle with the light until it is obvious. I will not stop asking until you answer me. I will not let you go. I will not let you go until I have an answer. I will have an answer. And I will not let you go until I do. You see, this is the formula for the third gift, the gift of unlimited spiritual guidance. You see how simple? For unlimited spiritual guidance, we demand answers. We demand unlimited growth within ourselves. And now, the last of the four gifts for my son. Our time together goes so quickly. the last of the 4 gifts for my son, the gift of unlimited fulfillment. For this gift, we turn to the book of Proverbs. I suggested to my son that he read the book of Proverbs because I thought it would be a very good introduction to the Old Testament. The book of Proverbs is a pretty easy read, and the book of Proverbs I thought was a very good place for a young man to start, because the book of Proverbs has a lot to say about women and alcohol. Now, the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 18. The gift of unlimited fulfillment, the 4th of the 4 gifts for my son. Rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Unlimited fulfillment, because we are not created to be alone. Life's too hard to do it by yourself. You know, with the current quarantine procedures and lockdown and social distancing, and we all go around with our mask on, kind of talking like this to each other. Say, what did you say? I can't hear you with my mask on. And you know, my son is in online classes, and so he does school every day at the kitchen table. And it's very difficult for teenagers to be social and meet new people and make new friends. And my son and I have talked about that, and I understand his frustration. I understand his desire to make new friends and meet pretty girls. And right now, it's hard for all of us to meet people. It's hard for all of us to be safe and aware of the social distance and the danger of the virus. And we all feel it. And I said, son, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to meet someone. I promise. You're going to meet someone. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow, but it will be soon. And in the big picture of your life, it will be very soon. And you will meet someone and you will fall in love and you will get married, and it will be very soon. And I said, so are you praying for the woman you're going to marry? And he looked at me like I was crazy, like I'd lost my mind. I'm used to that. I said, look, here's the thing. She's a real person. Okay. She's a real person. She's in high school. And I promise that she's already thinking about the young man that she's going to marry. And I said, pray for her. I said, just every day, pray, Heavenly Father, please bless the woman that I'm going to marry. Bless her with good health, protection, true guidance, and joy. Thank you for helping us meet one another. Okay? I want you to share this with the young people in your lives. Meeting new people is fun. Making new friends is fun. And dating and enjoying things together are a part of life. But the real fulfillment, okay, the fulfillment above the fun, above the superficial excitement of meeting somebody new who's not already heard all our stories. The fulfillment comes from commitment. The commitment to love one another, to help one another, and grow together. The commitment to ask, what's next, together. That's the fulfillment. All right? That's the fulfillment. Share that. So, there they are. 4 gifts for my son. Psalm 18, the formula for unlimited blessing. The way we treat others tells God how to treat us. Number 2, the formula for unlimited prosperity, Genesis 28. Give 1/10 to the place where we receive our spiritual nourishment and get beyond the fear that will bring up. Number 3, the formula for unlimited spiritual guidance from Genesis 32. Ask questions, demand good answers, think, and demand the growth from within ourselves. And number 4, equally simple, Proverbs 5, the formula for unlimited fulfillment. Commit to the person you love. Now, if you don't know who that person is, then pray for him or her, because he or she is out there hoping to meet you. See, these were the 4 gifts for my son on Christmas. Now they are my 4 gifts to all of you. Remember the promise of King David in Psalm 18, for thou wilt light my candle. The Lord my God will bring light to my darkness. To activate that, let's bring light to one another and share that light and that love. And may we all find that light and share that light in a brand new way in this new year of 2021. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. As always, you've just expanded on our studies this morning. We are reading Gary Renard's When Buddha and Jesus lived together on earth, when they knew each other in past lifetimes.
Nice.
Lots and lots of course in there and stuff. And that's basically, you have expanded on our readings this morning. It was talking
Well, good.
about that, you know, what you see in others is what you have. You spot it, you got it. And, you know, and all the things that if you want love, you give love, all those things. And you've just expanded on them beautifully. And we thank you for coming and sharing with us. I'm going to open it up at this time. Anybody has anything that they'd like to say to Mark?
I would like to thank Mark for helping me to give a blessing to 2020. I felt so sad for 2020 because it turned out to be such a despondent and sad year for so many people,
Yes.
that he helped me to bless it and let it go as a learning period, and to welcome the new year with these insights into how I can help myself grow. And so thank you very much, Mark. Your words are always a blessing.
This is Joyce Hedrick, and I totally enjoyed it. It was down to earth, straightforward talk about what the Bible tells us about everyday BS that happens in our life, right? I loved it. I thought it was great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to say I appreciate your deep and profound wisdom from the Bible that you've presented to us. And I also, when you said that your father said, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards, it reminded me of the Bob Dylan line, those who are not busy being born are busy dying.
Oh, wow. Wow.
If you're coasting, you're going downhill.
Oh, what are you talking to, couch potatoes?
Not in particular, no. Anybody.
Anybody in general. And it's easy to get to that point at certain times in your life. So thanks, Mark, for all your uplifting things. I had a question for you. Yesterday around 3 o'clock, you just really came into Cat and I's mind really clearly. And I was just curious if you had felt the same thing.
Five o'clock yesterday. Well, 5 o'clock my time was 3 your time.
So it's 3 o'clock. It was 2:30 my time. That's which would actually be 3:30 your, no,
4:30.
4:30 your time.
4:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But just curious, because I know, I appreciate the thoughts that you send out and the little card you had with the blessings of God and think on those things. And as you think on those things, it creates an energy. And of course, you know that.
Mhm.
And the energy has been my healing energy from Power of 8, from you, from the group. And 2020 is gone. And I was reminded the other day that there's pessimist and optimist. The optimist is always the guy who stays up late enough to see the new year out or the new year in. The pessimist is the one that stays up to make sure it's gone.
That's pretty
So I
good.
always liked the sense of humor. You've always got a smile and always got some great words of teaching. This is awesome. That every kid could hear this and understand our values and how things work. You know, we wouldn't have the challenges we have in this world, obviously.
I
So
agree.
thank you.
Anyone else? Mark, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming and sharing with us, and we love you and hope that everything in your life is going to be joyful and that you are happy and free. And that's generally what I think of God's will for everyone, is if we can get to that point of happy, joyous, and free. So
We'll go with that.
thank you. Thank you.
Blessed, prosperous, loved, accepted, and highly favored.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
I picked that up from a guy out on the reservation out here when I asked him how he was one day. That was kind of interesting. I've kind of picked it up.
All right. Fred, have you got another beautiful song for us?
I don't know if it's beautiful.
The last one is great.
I'm going to mute everyone so that we won't have any feedback.
All right.
Now you'll need to unmute.
Done. This is a song from the 60s, late 60s, 69. I'm going to play it kind of my way. To put a little love in your heart. So I think most of you know this song. So. Think of your fellow man in my helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Yeah, it's just another day. Still the children cry. Love in your heart. And if you want the world to know that we won't let it grow, then love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. And just wait and see. Take another look around, and if you're feeling down, put a little love in your heart. I hope that when you decide you'll let drive your guide, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. The world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Yeah. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Yeah. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love, put a little love, put a little love in your heart.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Fred. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Very welcome.
1969 was a real turning point in our history. That's the year I graduated from high school and got turned loose on the world. Anyway, All right. We have some business we need to take care of. We, the board got together and all those that wanted to be on the board were there, and we elected officers. And we elected Steve to be continue to be our secretary. We elected Jerry to continue to be our treasurer and take care of our financial affairs. And they elected me to continue to be the president and oversee everything, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, everyone
Jim.
that was there accepted it. What I would like to do today
And
is-
Jim,
what?
you forgot Jim.
Oh,
You
and
forgot
Jim, yeah, Jim wasn't there, so it was hard to imagine him, but we closed that up this morning. Jim was elected to continue to be the vice president in charge of vice. And and he accepted this morning.
Yeah, and
So-
Cynthia wasn't there either.
Cynthia wasn't there either, no. But what I would like to do is that I would like to vote or have the congregation to ratify this the vote of the board, and to with a show of hands to show whether you accept them or not. A show of hands would say that you agree with the board, and then I will ask any opposed. So all those that vote in favor of this vote of the board, show your hands. And if you're here today, you can vote. You're a member of our congregation, so don't hold back. Okay. Okay. Any opposed? Well, as far as I can see, it was unanimous. So that was a good deal. So we have our slate of officers to take care of the business of the fellowship for the next year. And so welcome everyone, and thank you everyone who is taking on this responsibility. All right. Jerry, do you have any announcements, or does anyone have any announcements?
Margaret gave me some stuff for a yard sale, and so I'm tentatively thinking that in the spring we will do a yard sale for fellowship, whether we're open or not. We can still do it outside in the parking lot or across the street in the parking lot for the park. And so don't feel like you have to bring the stuff to the church, but you could start setting aside some things for the yard sale. And some of the things Margaret gave us were several sets of single bed sheets, which I forwarded on to Masada House, and they were thrilled to death to get them because that's what they have there is single beds. And so I was pleased that we could just pass those on and we didn't need to sell them. They were a donation. And I wanted to reiterate after Mark's talk, especially on that second blessing, is that we donate to the church to keep that building alive for us and ready for us when we need to get back in, but that our church does a lot in the community to share what we have with the local community, such as Child Haven that we gave stuff to in December, a few people who have come to us for benevolence gifts, help with their lives, and the stuff like passing on the sheets to Masada House. So we do give back to our community, and so we share your gifts out there with the community. So realize that that money doesn't just hang out in our bank account and stay there, that it's there to support us and to share with the community. And even in your 10%, if you feel the need to give it to somebody as well as the church, then that's good too, because you're still giving it to us because we share our benevolence with the community. And so this is important, like Mark said, part of our lives. But keep in mind, we will try to have a yard sale in April or May. Okay?
Thank you, Jerry. And we are not a group of people who dwells on money. Our main purpose is to disseminate light and love and promote unity. However, it does take some financials because we're still in the third dimension, and we do have to have some monies to pay our bills and stuff. And we don't, so we need to talk about that ever occasionally, but that's not our main focus. Remember that enables us to do our main focus, which are the things I just mentioned. So are
Have
there
an
any
announcement?
other announcements? Yes,
I have an
Travis.
announcement. Yes. You know, I'd like to mention that I'm head in Denver, the United Centers, as having a Heart of Peace meditation. I'm listed doing that first and third Wednesdays. And often I do healing meditations in the same time slot on Wednesday mornings. And so what I suggest I do is type my email address into the chat. So if anybody wants to contact me for access that would like to participate in these regular meditations, they can contact me. How does that sound? Shall I do that? Put my email address in the chat,
Yes, if you would, and we'll,
or just,
yeah, if you'll do that, yeah, I don't know, your voice was kind of garbled in the very beginning of your speech, but what I got was that you are doing a meditation online in a Zoom format, and that from Denver, and you would like to invite us to participate, and you're going to give the email address on how to make that happen. Is that correct?
write to my email in order to get access information and exact times. It's there. Those meditations are 9 o'clock your time
Okay.
on many Wednesdays, not every Wednesday. And if you do write to me for that information, put under the subject line NM Fellowship, so I know it's somebody that I want to open the email from.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
because that's I don't open all emails if. So I'll go ahead and put that in there.
If you'll have it, then when we send out a copy, a link to the YouTube, I'll post this service on YouTube, and when we send that out, we will send out. I'll make sure to make a notation to include your address. How would that be?
That would be fine. Yes, okay, so those are peace meditations first and third Wednesdays, and healing meditations many of the other Wednesdays, but not all of them. So if I have your email address, if anybody's wanting to sit in, then I'll always send that out and advise interested parties. So, okay.
That sounds great.
I think that's it.
And now that's 9 o'clock a.m.
Your time, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. So that you can expand your meditation abilities, and I'm sure that Travis would help you to do that. And his address is now in the chat. So
Not anymore.
you need to do it as
Well,
once we close down.
I know it shrinks.
Okay,
Cotton shrinks.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
I tell you what's really exciting is sometimes I host Denver's flagship event on Mondays, and so I'm meditating with people all over the world, and we actually had almost 400 people sitting in last Monday when I did that event. It's very exciting to share with like minds and hearts in this fashion, and that's what it's about.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Travis. Thank you. Everyone had an opportunity to, his address is in the chat now, so be sure and copy it down. Did anyone have anything else that they'd like to share at this time?
No, I'd just like to shout out, thank you, Mark. Appreciate you all the time. We really enjoy your talks, and we miss you, buddy. So it's nice to have this venue to have you back in our lives, and just so appreciate what you have to say. So thank you.
I have something to say. To add to it, this was inspired by Mark's talk about how we judge other people, and we're telling God how to judge us. And I thought about this, that 2020 was not necessarily a bad year. It was an opportunity. When you wear a mask basically protects others from you if you're carrying the virus. It doesn't necessarily protect you all that well from others. Most masks are fairly permeable, so what it does is it captures the water droplets coming out of your mouth, which carries the highest amount of virus. And so if everybody wears a mask, we're protecting each other. And so when you wear a mask out in public, when you're with everybody, you're showing your concern and your love and appreciation for your fellow human being by wanting to wear your mask to protect them from you if you're harboring the virus. So it's an opportunity to show your concern and your love for your fellow human being by wearing your mask. And 2020 was an opportunity to demonstrate that and show that. And here's the controversial part, and I'm rendering a judgment, which I shouldn't do. We were told not to do that, but if you don't wear your mask and you're screaming freedom, you're not taking advantage of the lesson or the opportunity to demonstrate your concern for your fellow human being. So that's kind of the thought that popped into my head after listening to Mark's talk. So anyway, there it is. That's my thoughts on that.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Anyone else? Well, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for this time for us to be together. We thank you for this mode of communication that we have been given at this time to span the distances that we are imposing upon ourselves in the interest of keeping each other healthy. We ask that you would give us strength to detach ourselves from the events of the coming week, whatever they are, until we get together again, so that we may be able to view them with the help of the Holy Spirit, so that we're not just feeling alone. Help us to be aware of your presence and your love in our lives. We know that you're always there, but we are not always cognizant of that. So help us to be aware of your help, your guidance, and your love, and to strengthen the things that we feel for each other. Help us to be safe and to have happiness and joy and freedom. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so that's it. I'm going to turn off the recording now, and we can just visit for as long as you need.